Be sure to hit that like button, share your insights in the comments below, and subscribe to embark on this journey with us as we unveil our latest tales. The sun lingered behind the clouds, shrouding the day in a soft, nostalgic glow that seeped through my kitchen window. I sat at the table, cradling my coffee, lost in thought. At 46, I believed I had unraveled the mysteries of life, or at least, that was the comforting illusion I clung to. A thriving career, a cozy sanctuary, a predictable rhythm that wrapped around them like a warm embrace of safety. Yet, lately, everything seemed to carry a weight of emptiness. Just as I began to drift into the depths of a daydream, a sudden knock at the door jolted me back to reality. The knock echoed through the silence, a hesitant sound that lingered in the air, as if the person on the other side was wrestling with uncertainty, questioning their very presence at the door. The door creaked open, revealing Serena, my neighbor, poised on the threshold, a small envelope clutched tightly in her hand. "Hey, I know this is a bit unexpected," she said, her voice trembling with urgency. "But there's something I need to share with you." Serena, a woman in her late 40s, had been my neighbor for 5 years, sharing the quiet rhythms of our lives in close proximity. We exchanged light-hearted banter over the fence, shared the warmth of coffee on lazy afternoons, and occasionally traded cherished recipes, weaving a tapestry of connection between us. She seemed like the kind of person who had everything perfectly aligned, poised, self-assured, and perpetually adorned with a radiant smile. Her presence enveloped the room like a soothing balm, and in her eyes I found a glimmer of reassurance that whispered promises of hope and tranquility. But on that day, an unmistakable change lingered in the air around her. A weighty secret lurked just beneath the surface, a burden she desperately sought to conceal. I moved aside, granting her entry, and gestured toward the chair at the kitchen table, inviting her into the heart of my home. She paused, her gaze fixed on the envelope cradled in her hand, weighing the gravity of her choice as if the very act of speaking could alter the course of fate. With a hesitant breath, she leaned closer, her eyes flickering with uncertainty. "I wasn't sure if I should bring this up," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper, before sliding the envelope toward me, a silent invitation to uncover whatever secrets lay within. I cast a fleeting glance at it, an unremarkable envelope, devoid of any markings or names, shrouded in an air of mystery. I find myself at a crossroads, unsure of where to turn, and I think you may find that you truly grasp the essence of it all. As I grasped the envelope from her hand, a surge of intrigue coursed through me. I eased it open, my heart racing as I sought to read her expression. Within the confines of the envelope lay a solitary, folded piece of paper, its secrets waiting to be unveiled. With trembling hands, I opened it slowly, my pulse quickening as I absorbed the brief yet powerful message. "Your assistance is crucial. Only you can grasp the depths of this truth. Your significance in my life is beyond your comprehension. Keep this secret close to your heart." Desperation clawed at my insides, leaving me at a loss for what to do next. I gazed at Serena, who sat there with her hands neatly folded in her lap, her eyes deliberately averted from my own. She appeared delicate, exposed in a manner that struck me with an intensity I had never encountered before. "Serena, what on earth is this?" I asked, my voice a fragile whisper, trembling on the edge of silence, wary of shattering the charged atmosphere that loomed above us like a brewing tempest. With a deep breath, she felt her fingers tremble, instinctively clasping them together as uncertainty washed over her. "It's a weight I've borne for what feels like an eternity," she started, her voice a gentle whisper yet unwavering. "There's a secret buried deep within me, one I've kept hidden from everyone, even from my husband." The intensity of her gaze held a heavy truth, a profound secret teetering on the edge of revelation. Yet, deep within me, a whispering voice urged me to heed the call, to grasp the weight of understanding that hung in the air. For a long time now, I've been ensnared in a web of deception, a truth hidden beneath layers of pretense. But the weight of the facade is becoming unbearable, and I can feel the cracks starting to show. How much longer can I maintain this illusion of normalcy? Some chapters of our lives are harder to share, but they teach us the most valuable lessons. My heart pounded in my chest, anticipation electrifying the air as I hung on her every word, desperate for her to continue. Uncertainty gripped me, yet a deep instinct whispered that whatever lay ahead held great significance. A shiver ran down my spine as I realized this moment held the power to alter the course of my life forever. Our bond, our camaraderie, perhaps even the true essence of who she really was, began to unravel before my eyes. Serena paused once more, caught in a moment of uncertainty, weighing her next words with palpable tension. It was clear that this was a struggle for her, yet, deep down, I understood she would stand her ground, unwavering and resolute. Desperation clawed at her insides. She had to share her truth, to break the silence that suffocated her. Someone had to listen. "I wasn't always the person you see now," she finally confessed, her voice quivering with the weight of unspoken truths. In a distant past, long before our arrival here, I found myself entwined in a relationship. One that transformed me in ways I could never have anticipated, and one that I believed I had long since abandoned. She paused, the gravity of her words suspended in the stillness around her. The air was thick with tension, a palpable vulnerability radiating from her as she clutched the secret close, a heavy burden she had yet to release. Long before the chaos of my current existence, before the bonds of family were forged and the walls of our home stood side by side, I lived a life that felt like a distant memory, a hidden existence, shrouded in shadows that I desperately wished to keep from the world. But now the truth can no longer remain shrouded in darkness. You must grasp the weight of this. It's a shadow that has loomed over me for years. Her words left a profound impact on my perspective. Uncertainty hung in the air as I braced myself for her words, unaware of the revelation that was about to unfold. Yet, I could sense the profound intensity of her feelings, the relentless battle she had been enduring. This was more than a mere secret. It was a saga woven with years of anguish, haunting regrets, and the weight of unvoiced truths. "I can't find the words," she said, her voice trembling as tears welled in her eyes. "But I implore you, hold back your judgment of me. Regrets haunt me. We would all rise to the occasion. For what feels like an eternity, I've borne this secret, and now I find myself lost, unsure of who I truly am." The rawness in her voice pierced through the air, each crack of vulnerability striking a chord deep within me, igniting a profound ache for her plight. This was a moment that transcended mere revelation. It was a revelation, a moment heavy with unspoken truths, a pivotal instant that could unravel the very fabric of our understanding of one another. As I sat there, a storm of uncertainty brewing inside me, I sensed a profound shift taking place within my very core. The woman sitting across from me was more than just a neighbor. She was a mystery waiting to unfold. She was a figure shrouded in mystery, burdened by a past that eluded my understanding. A shiver ran down my spine as I realized, deep within, that whatever lay ahead would irrevocably alter the course of our lives. The silence between us lingered, dense and suffocating, enveloping us like a shroud that neither of us had the courage to break. Serena's words reverberated in my mind, leaving me at a loss for how to reply. How was it even possible? The gravity of her revelation hung in the air, each word echoing in her mind as the reality of it all began to settle like a heavy fog. Her secret, long buried and hidden from the world, now lay exposed between us, a delicate truth suspended in the air, teetering on the brink of shattering. I observed her intently, taking in the subtle tension in her posture, the way her fingers clutched the chair's edge as if it were her lifeline in that very instant. An electric tension hung in the air, palpable and thick, as I sensed her anxiety swirling around us, a storm of uncertainty about how I would respond. Yet, amidst the shadows, I stumbled upon something entirely unforeseen, a revelation that took me by surprise. With a quiet strength coursing through her veins, she steeled herself to confront the shadows of her past, ready to face them head-on, even if it meant walking the treacherous path alone. I shifted in my chair, the intensity of her gaze pressing down on me like a heavy shroud. My thoughts spiraled in a whirlwind as I struggled to grasp the weight of her words. She carried with her the weight of a life that preceded this one, a shadowy past woven with complexities that surpassed my wildest dreams. But what could it possibly be? What was the secret that had shackled her in silence for all these years? "Serena," You don't have to share it all with me just yet, I said, my voice a soothing blend of warmth and resolve. But I must grasp the truth. I'm your neighbor. I've always stood by your side, unwavering and without judgment. Her eyes sparkled with gratitude, yet the weight of tension still clung to her shoulders. With a deep breath, she summoned the strength to press on, her resolve palpable in the air around us. I wasn't always the happy, perfect wife you see now, she confessed, her voice quivering with the weight of unspoken truths. Long before Victor entered my life, before we set foot in this place, I was entangled with another, a person who brought nothing but turmoil into my life. I've learned that self-worth isn't defined by how others treat you, but by how you treat yourself. The words struck me like a thunderclap. A part of me had braced for something, yet this was an overwhelming surge beyond anything I could have imagined. Her voice carried a pain, a rawness that twisted my heart with every word. I longed to reach out, to offer her solace, yet deep down, I understood this was a moment she had to navigate alone, on her own terms. In her voice, a haunting echo of youth lingered. Serena continued, her gaze drifting into the past as if she were stepping back into those long-lost days. The thrill enveloped me, igniting a spark within as this person breathed life into my existence, making me feel truly cherished. Yet, in the end, it was nothing but a web of deceit. It's a mystery how it all unfolded, but somehow I found myself entangled with someone who took advantage of me. They twisted my reality. The anguish in her eyes was palpable, each word escaping her lips like a reluctant release of daggers, pulled from the depths of her heart with a struggle that left her breathless. I remained silent, allowing the heavy stillness to linger, resisting the urge to break the tension with empty words of comfort. She never sought that kind of fate. She sought the depths of comprehension. And I was ready to offer it all. Once that relationship shattered, I believed I had buried it deep within the past. I believed I could bury it deep within my mind. Yet, I refrained. It lingered in my mind. It lingered in the shadows of my mind, a relentless specter that refused to let go. In that moment of clarity, I understood the profound impact it had woven into the very fabric of my existence, shaping my marriage, distorting my friendships, and even warping the bond I held with my own self. I choked back a surge of emotions, each one clawing its way up my throat. It was a tale woven with the threads of betrayal and heartbreak, each moment pulsing with tension and raw emotion. In the depths of her journey, a woman embarked on a profound quest of self-discovery, piecing together the fragments of her identity after enduring heart-wrenching losses that shaped her path. I grasped that truth more deeply than I cared to acknowledge. I too had faced my own fierce struggles with identity, grappling with the chasm between the person I believed I should be and the truth of who I truly was. But, Serena, why at this moment? Why are you revealing this to me now after all this time? I inquired, my voice laced with a mix of intrigue and unease. For a fleeting moment she paused, her gaze dancing with doubt. "Peace," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "I can't keep running from it. For so long, I've concealed myself behind the shimmering illusion of a perfect life, a carefully crafted facade designed to shield my true self from the world. I can't bear this any longer. The stakes have risen beyond my own desires. I stand at the edge of a precipice, burdened by shadows of my past. There are truths I must face, wrongs that beg to be set right, and a desperate need for someone to truly see me, to grasp the weight of my struggles. Someone who sees me not as shattered or undeserving." Her words pierced through me, slicing into the very core of my being, where the truth lay buried. I understood all too well the weight of a mask, the facade of a smile that concealed the chaos raging within. It was more than a mere error from the past. The weight of those years bore down on her, leaving scars that ran deep within her soul. The burden hung heavily upon her, an oppressive force akin to a storm cloud that lingered, stubbornly refusing to dissipate. "I don't know what to do," Rachel said, her voice trembling, barely breaking the silence that enveloped her. A deep sense of confusion envelops me, as if my very identity has slipped through my fingers, leaving me adrift in a sea of uncertainty. As I leaned forward, my fingers brushed against hers, a spark igniting in the air between us. Though it was a simple act, in that fleeting moment, it resonated with a weight that felt monumental. "You're not alone, Rachel," I said, my voice unwavering yet gentle, a lifeline in the shadows. You're not lost. You've arrived, and that is what truly counts. The journey has begun, and it starts with your courage to share. Deep within you lies a strength you have yet to uncover. Her gaze locked onto mine, a wave of gratitude washing over her features, yet beneath it lingered a deeper emotion, relief. As if a heavy burden had been eased, if only slightly. It was just the beginning, a flicker of hope in the vast darkness. I have no idea what lies ahead, she confessed, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and determination. But at last, I'm prepared to confront it. I must confront the shadows of my past that haunt me relentlessly. It is time for me to confront the weight of my decisions and carve a path toward the future that awaits. We lingered in silence, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavily in the air around us. A palpable shift coursed through the air, the long-held tension that had enveloped us beginning to dissipate, if only slightly. Rachel had no intention of seeking forgiveness. She sought no sympathy. All she sought was a place to belong. She longed for someone to look beyond her past errors, to recognize the bravery it required to confront those missteps directly. "I'm here for you," I whispered, my voice laced with genuine warmth. In the shadows of uncertainty, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear, know that I will always be here, ready to listen, ready to share in your silence. In that fleeting moment, a revelation struck me with the force of a thunderclap. This was about something far greater than Rachel's hidden truth. In a world that often felt isolating, two women embarked on a journey of discovery, forging a profound connection that blossomed into understanding and respect. It was a journey of unearthing the courage to confront the shadows of the past, to accept your true self, and to reconstruct a life from the fragments that lingered. The days that followed our conversation unfolded like a hazy dream, a curious blend of silent contemplation and tentative hope. Thoughts of Rachel haunted my mind, creeping in more frequently than I was willing to acknowledge. Her confession lingered in my mind, an indelible mark that refused to fade away. Her vulnerability struck me with a profound weight, a testament to the trust she placed in me as she unveiled such an intimate chapter of her life. A wave of introspection washed over me, stirring thoughts of my own hidden truths, the secrets I had buried deep, too terrified to face. But now, everything felt transformed. In Rachel's fearless heart, I found a fleeting glimpse of a realm where truth and raw emotion intertwined. If only for a heartbeat, we had made a pact to navigate this journey one step at a time. The path before me loomed with challenges, yet I could feel the weight of Rachel's resolve in the air, a decision already forged in the depths of her heart. She had made a vow to herself. The shadows of her past would no longer dictate her future. Emerging from the shadows, she braced herself to confront the weight of her decisions, determined to embrace accountability and, above all, to begin her journey of healing. With each passing day, I observed her with growing intensity. Within her lay a quiet strength, an elusive transformation that danced just beyond my grasp, yet its presence resonated deeply within me. She was starting to awaken once more, shedding the facade that had cloaked her for so long, embracing the vibrant essence of who she truly was, unreserved and unashamed. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the evening, I settled into my porch chair, cradling a steaming cup of tea. It was then that Rachel approached, her demeanor noticeably more at ease than I had ever seen it before. Her smile radiated warmth, yet her eyes, those piercing eyes, whispered secrets of a different tale. Amidst the lingering uncertainty, a flicker of hope emerged, illuminating a side of her I had never witnessed before. "Hey," she whispered, her voice barely breaking the silence as she lingered at the foot of the stairs, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes before she finally ascended. "May I take a seat beside you?" I extended my hand in a warm, inviting gesture. "Absolutely." The stillness enveloped me, a serene blanket that wrapped around my senses. Step into the unknown. With a smile dancing on her lips, she ascended the stairs, her steps buoyant and filled with an unspoken thrill. As she lowered herself into the chair beside me, a heavy silence enveloped us, her lips sealed tight, as if the words she held were too potent to release just yet. She seemed to be sifting through her thoughts, searching for the perfect words to express herself. A weight hung in the air, a silent storm brewing behind her eyes. Something significant was stirring within her, begging to be unleashed. She started, her gaze drifting over the narrow yard that lay between our homes, lost in thought. The breeze whispered through the leaves, weaving a soothing melody that danced in the air. Concerning all that exists, concerning the tales I've shared, the echoes of the past, and the unfolding journey that lies ahead, I lingered, a quiet intensity building within me, allowing her to dictate the rhythm of our unfolding moment. I believe it's time for a true transformation, she declared, her voice resonating with determination. For far too long, I've lingered in the shadows of this wall, ensnared by the belief that I was unworthy of anything beyond the meager existence I clung to. But now, I have come to understand the truth. I am entitled to my own happiness, just as every other soul is. I am entitled to tranquility, and I yearn for a life unshackled by the decisions of my past. Her words crashed into me like a relentless tide, enveloping me with a force so powerful that I nearly lost my breath. It felt as if I had stumbled upon a hidden truth, a revelation that resonated deep within, leaving me utterly captivated. How could anyone have shouldered that weight for so long, yet emerge from the shadows with such piercing clarity? I can't imagine what it will be like, she said, her eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. Uncertainty loomed over me like a dark cloud. Would Victor grasp the weight of my words, or would they slip through the fingers of everyone else, lost in the shadows of misunderstanding? Yet, I can no longer endure this suffocating bubble of fear and shame that surrounds me. Now is the moment for me to release the burdens I've clung to, even if it means shattering the very foundations of everything I believed to be true. A surge of pride washed over me as I watched Serena, the woman who was finally stepping into her own power, reclaiming herself with fierce determination. It transcended the opinions of others, the whispers of judgment that lingered in the air. It was a quest for the missing pieces that would restore her sense of completeness. I think I'm going to take a break from everything, she said after a pause, her voice barely above a whisper. Just for a little while. Perhaps embark on an adventure, empty my mind, discover the truth of my desires, beyond the expectations that cloud my mind. Her words danced in the air, a tantalizing blend of freedom and sorrow. Serena had been drifting through life on autopilot, trapped in a reality that felt foreign, as if it belonged to someone else entirely. This journey, whatever it may unfold, would mark the beginning of her quest to unearth the essence of her being, buried deep beneath the weight of fear and the shadows of regret. And that was something I held in profound admiration. Serena, I said softly, my voice laced with warmth. I believe that's a truly remarkable idea. You have earned every moment of it. It's time for you to rediscover who you truly are. Her smile danced on her lips, yet a flicker of vulnerability shone in her eyes, an unvoiced question hanging in the air between us, thick with unspoken tension. Do you truly believe I have what it takes to accomplish this? She inquired, her voice a whisper, laced with doubt. I leaned in closer, my fingers brushing against hers, anchoring her in the intensity of the moment. You have the strength within you, and remember, you are not facing this battle by yourself. Thank you. Whatever you seek, I stand ready to assist. A faint, tear-streaked smile flickered at the edge of her lips, hinting at a deeper story beneath the surface. My deepest gratitude. Your words carry a weight I can't fully express. We lingered in silence, the gentle evening light enveloping the yard in a golden embrace. The world hung in a fragile silence, as if time itself had paused to grant us this rare moment of introspection. Sometimes, Serena murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. I wonder if I've lost everything I ever wanted. But now a flicker of hope ignites within me, whispering of a better existence, a tangible reality, a treasure meant solely for my heart. Her words echoed through the very core of my being. Serena stood before me, transformed in a way I had never witnessed, not even during her first arrival in our neighborhood all those years ago. A new light flickered in her eyes, igniting a fierce determination not merely to survive, but to truly live. I'm proud of you, I whispered, a lump tightening in my throat. the weight of the moment hanging heavy in the air. Deep within you lies a strength you have yet to fully uncover. Her smile deepened, and in that fleeting moment, I felt the shift within her, a spark igniting as she began to embrace the truth alongside me. As Serena rose to depart, she lingered at the threshold of my home, casting a glance back in my direction. "Thank you for listening," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath, "and for being there for me. The weight of my secrets has become unbearable, and I can no longer shoulder this burden in solitude." "You never have to," I replied, my voice barely breaking the stillness as she melted into the shadows of the night, the soft murmur of the evening enveloping her like a guardian's embrace. I lingered in the silence long after she had vanished, lost in thoughts of Serena's remarkable journey. The road stretched out before her, fraught with challenges, yet it was undeniably hers to traverse. I felt a surge of certainty. She was prepared to confront whatever lay ahead. The secret she had buried deep within her soul was finally free, no longer a burden, but a whisper of liberation. It held the promise of a future she had always yearned for. The weeks that followed Serena's choice to step back were steeped in a palpable tension, an unspoken weight that hung in the air. A palpable shift lingered in the air, a whisper of transformation that I could feel deep within her. Even before she set foot back from her journey, she reached out frequently, her brief messages arriving every few days, each one a glimpse into her unfolding journey. Every message resonated like a triumphant battle cry, a testament to her reclaiming the reins of her existence and embracing the liberation she had yearned for throughout the years. One fateful afternoon, a month after she had vanished from my life, the phone rang, and it was her voice on the other end. When she spoke, her voice held an unsettling quality, as if it carried secrets waiting to be unveiled. A profound clarity and purpose resonated within it, unlike anything I had ever encountered. "I'm back," she declared, her voice unwavering yet brimming with unspoken feelings. And in that moment, clarity washed over me like a tidal wave, revealing the intricate puzzle I had been trying to solve. The cadence of her words revealed the intricate layers of thought and emotion she had navigated during her time apart. There was an undeniable certainty that she had faced the shadows of her past, the haunting memories that had shackled her, preventing her from stepping into the light of a new beginning. "I've decided to move out," she continued, a soft chuckle escaping her lips, as if the weight of her decision was both a relief and a thrill. "The moment has arrived for me to embrace a new beginning, to carve out a life that is authentically my own. A place has already revealed itself to me. It may seem small, but in this moment, it holds all the significance I need." My heart surged with an overwhelming pride for her. The weight of the decision pressed heavily on my heart, as I stood on the threshold of a home that had cradled countless memories, some sharp with pain, others tinged with bittersweet nostalgia. The thought of leaving it all behind felt like tearing a piece of my soul away. At last, she was crossing the threshold into a future that belonged solely to her. "That's incredible, Serena," I breathed, my voice trembling with emotion. "My heart swells with joy for you. I don't know what I would have done without you," she whispered, her voice low yet filled with heartfelt sincerity. "Your guidance has illuminated the truth. My past does not define me. I am not defined by my past errors or the identity I once believed I needed to embody. I am who I am, and that is all that matters." Those words, "I'm me, and that's enough," lingered in the air like a haunting melody, echoing softly in my mind long after the call had ended. At last, Serena had unearthed her tranquility, a profound sense of self-worth that had long eluded her grasp. She had fully accepted the essence of her being, liberated from the chains of shame and fear that once held her captive. A few days later, Serena arrived, her presence heavy with the weight of farewell. The woman who had stepped into my life all those months ago, weighed down by her secrets and regrets, had transformed completely. She was a breath of fresh air, a beacon of resilience who had summoned the courage to release the past and embrace a new beginning. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely breaking the silence, as I swung the door open. "For everything." I felt the chasm between us grow, a silence thick with unspoken truths. Yet, through it all, you remained steadfast, a beacon of unwavering support, even when I faltered and pushed you away. I stepped forward and enveloped her in my arms, drawing her close for a fleeting moment, savoring the warmth of her metamorphosis. From the very beginning, I sensed there was a depth to Serena that she kept hidden from the world. Now, as I stood before her, I was captivated by the transformation she had undergone. A woman reborn, liberated and complete at last. "I'll miss you, Serena," I said, my voice heavy with emotion, yet deep down, I understood this was the path you had to take. Embrace the freedom to carve out your own path in life. Her smile was small, yet genuine. A flicker of warmth that mirrored the essence of the woman I had grown to understand deeply. The woman I admired far more than I had ever acknowledged. "I'll keep in touch," she said, her eyes glimmering with a fierce hope. "And who knows, perhaps we'll cross paths again soon. But this time, it will be on my terms." I stood there, a silent witness, as she turned her back on the past, suitcase clutched tightly, stepping boldly into the uncertain future she had long evaded. As she vanished into the shadows of the street, an unexpected wave of tranquility enveloped me, leaving me in a moment of stillness. The Serena I had encountered all those months ago had vanished, transformed into a figure who had unearthed her authentic self, a person who had mastered the art of releasing the past and boldly stepping into the uncharted future. As I stood on my porch, the sun dipping low on the horizon, I watched her silhouette dissolve into the distance. In that moment, a profound realization washed over me. I had transformed through this experience, just as surely as the day surrendered to night. Witnessing Serena face her past and embrace her future revealed lessons I never thought possible. It struck me that we all bear our own weights, yet we need not shoulder them in solitude. At times, confronting the truth feels like the most daunting challenge we can encounter. Yet, when we finally muster the courage to face it, a profound sense of liberation washes over us. Ultimately, Serena's secret was not merely a catalyst for her own transformation. It had irrevocably altered the course of my life as well, and for that, I would forever hold a deep sense of gratitude.